Hey guys, Ari here from Simple Productions, and as most of you know, the Division open beta was running this week, and I got a chance to play a bit of it, or quite a bit of it. This video would basically be just my first impressions and what I thought about the game, as well as go into the deeper review basically of it, looking at the Dark Zone, gameplay, mechanics, stuff like that. Basically, we're gonna start off with the menus. From what I can tell, there's extensive customization when it comes to the controls and the button mapping, and overall allows you to have full control of what you want in your game. The other tabs are just basic standard tabs, visuals, audio, and yeah. Everything else is basically standard. Every single game has them, so nothing special there. Moving on, we're going to look at what most people nowadays care about, which is the overall visuals of the game. Personally, I love the way the game looks. It's a beautiful game, at least on PC. I haven't seen it on Xbox that much. I played it a couple times, but nothing there that I really looked at that impressed me. Apparently there has been a downgrade since E3, but I don't really notice it. I don't really care personally. I'm running it basically high everything, a couple of ultras here and there, and the game, to my experience, looks amazing. So overall, the visuals are perfect. I mean, there's a downgrade, but you won't even notice it. Trust me on this one. Moving on from that, take a look at story mode for the Division, or the single player aspect of it. It seems to be pretty well developed. There's fully rendered cutscenes when the game first starts off. I'm not going to show them here just because I don't like to ruin it for people, so I'm going to leave it out. But overall, it's a pretty decent storyline for what I can tell, and I like the fact that they have fully rendered cutscenes. You basically start up the game by setting up your base of operations. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 5 with Mother Base. You can upgrade each wing in the base to up to 10 times a piece, I think, and upgrading them basically gives you different abilities or perks or talents. It's a pretty interesting system, and I personally love it. The way you upgrade the section is by completing different missions that are specified for, say, the medical wing or the security wing or the other wing. Basically, it'll let you know when you look at the map which ones give you more credits, and then you can go back to your mother base or base of operations and upgrade them like that. The downside to single player, though, that I found is that the missions tend to feel a bit repetitive and boring. Not the main story missions. I've only played one of those. I played all the hostage mission rescues or whatever. They have to have the same basically design to them, which it's kind of disappointing. But I'm hoping, just because it's a beta, they're not going to show too much. The main mission that we played, it kind of felt like Destiny. We're just holding off waves of people when one of the agents completes a task. I'm hoping that's just because of beta and they don't want to show anything else, but if that is the case and that's how the story mode is going to work, I'm going to be pretty disappointed, just because even though the gameplay is solid and it's really fluent and I love it, I feel as if they basically use the design of Destiny where it comes to just holding off waves, it's not going to go well for the game. Next, I want to kind of talk about the gameplay and the mechanics behind the actual game. The gameplay is amazing. The shooting mechanics feel very fluent. The cover system I actually really like. Some people don't like it. I only feel they could have tweaked it a little bit more when it comes to getting out of cover. It's kind of annoying. As you can see here in the video, you'll see the door mechanic. When you close doors, we run by them. That's pretty cool. All the guns feel great. Very fluent when you're shooting. We have a primary, secondary, and pistol. The way your character runs and aims and shoots, all very well done. However, I would have liked to see a crouch button implemented into the game, just because I feel that's pretty necessary for PC gaming. But all in all, very excellent game design or game mechanics, and I hope they improve on it. Just add a crouch button, that'll be perfect. Also, all the abilities they added, or the ones that I tried out in the beta at least, they seem pretty well balanced. I'm hoping that's the case for all of them, but we'll see when the full game releases on March 8th. Looking at some of the extra stuff in the game, the character customization and the gun customization I found to be pretty extensive. I mean, you don't really get a lot in the beta when it comes to character customizations. You can see on the screen I have a couple of jackets here and there, some pants, some shoes. The main thing I was surprised about was the gun customization, which we'll see in about a second. I feel as if they did a pretty good job at implementing a bit of the items you find around the game. to give you a bit of an edge. So you can see there's different scopes you can attach on different guns, different barrels, different grips. You could even add your own custom skins. I personally didn't get one in the beta. I didn't see one. I don't even know if they dropped, but I never saw one. You can basically customize your primary, secondary, or your pistol. You pick up like silencers or grips off like players or enemies or bosses you beat. But it's pretty custom. I mean, it's a pretty good design, a pretty good game mechanic they added into it. I feel as if it gives a game a bit more of that grindy feeling where you want to grind for different items. Kind of gives you a bit of a motive to keep playing, which I personally like a lot, and I found it to be pretty well done in the game, or at least in the beta. What I really want to focus on this impressions or in the video is the multiplayer aspect of the Division, which is the Dark Zone. The idea to have parts of the map be PvP and the other parts be PvE was pretty interesting to me, and I kind of like the whole I like the vision they went with, at least. I enjoyed it a lot. The only problem I ran into though was the overall content in the Dark Zone. Basically the main thing I was doing in the game, or at least the majority of it, was this. As you can see, like in these clips, I basically spent the majority of the time just running around, and I felt as if, aside from the random spawns of enemies, the Dark Zone was basically like boring after playing for like an hour, or take an hour, like 2 at most. I thought it was extremely repetitive and made me question what else the game has to offer, because I promise you guys, I was literally running around like this for like 2-3 minutes at a time, and it felt like a running simulator, and I shouldn't get that feeling when I play a game. These are some of the random spawns you get when you're in the Dark Zone, which is pretty interesting, but they're too far and few in between, and I just feel as if they have to add more content, but at the same time, I don't know what else they could possibly add to it, because it's already too late. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but I just have a bad feeling about it. There are certain cool features, such as special chests that are laid out around the Dark Zone, which is the one you're seeing right here. They require special keys to be dropped. I haven't ever found one yet. I haven't opened it, so I don't know what it contains, but I'm assuming it's some pretty special loot. This is basically one of the, as you see on the screen, one of the extraction points in the Dark Zone. Basically, most players come here to get rid of their loot, which you basically put on your bag you carry behind you, and you put it on a little rope, and the helicopter takes it away. That is the only way to take out anything you earn from in the Dark Zone, to put it in your stash later on and use it when you get out of the Dark Zone. I like the system, and I kind of see why I did it, because it brings all the players together, which kind of gives people an incentive to go rogue, which I'll talk about right now. That is the biggest controversial thing, for me at least. Going rogue basically means just attacking other players, like I'm doing right now. Doing so, however, makes you a huge target for everyone. A red skull appears above your head, and everyone in the game can see where you are, even through walls. That is a huge disadvantage. In addition to that, once you are rogue, there's a timer basically above your head, as you can see above my head right now, that counts down. Basically, if you survive that time, you don't become rogue anymore, and people can't attack you. I can't run. It's stuck. But the downside is that this never ever happens, because once you go rogue, you see the counter, how it's like 117 seconds right now. That counter will keep going up every time you engage another enemy player. So basically, what this means is that the only way to survive rogue status and basically get out alive, because you can't go into safe houses or can't leave, or you can go into checkpoints until you lose your rogue status. The only way to do that is by not attacking anyone while you are rogue. Even if they open fire on you first, to just keep running around and hope that you don't die. This definitely has to change, because it just doesn't make the multiplayer fun. There's no real advantage or any like reward or benefit for becoming a rogue player. In addition to that, if you die when you're in rogue status, you lose a ton of XP and a ton of Dark Zone credits, or money in this case. Credits which you can use to buy new armor and upgrades from the Dark Zone vendor at the beginning of the checkpoint when you first enter the Dark Zone. The overall idea of the Dark Zone is excellent, however, the way that it's playing out in the beta at least, I don't think it's how they expected it to play, and honestly I found it a bit disappointing, just because of the overall content. Aside from just looting different mobs. You can't really do anything else. You just kind of have to run around and just wait for more mobs to spawn. It just feels really grindy and just not the type of game that I personally like. Overall opinion of the game, personally I feel as if the full game will be much of the same as a beta, outside of the story, of course, because we don't have the full story. The Dark Zone definitely has to add, you have to add more rewards to it, especially for rogue players, to kind of give them a bit of an incentive to become rogue and kind of create that PvP zone they were looking for, because right now it just feels like it's PvE still, and it's just one, or maybe now and then someone decides to kill some other one, which is not what they intended for, because it is a PvP area. The visuals are amazing, as I mentioned before, best I've ever seen. Truly worth it in that case. The game looks really good. Customization is pretty nice in terms of guns. I haven't seen too much when it comes to character customization, but I feel as if that's really easy to add on later on if you wanted to. But I'm pretty impressed with what they have right now. But the question I'm asking is, will they add DLC? And if they do, is it only cosmetic or other DLC that will influence the game? I'm hoping they keep it as just cosmetic and nothing else, because that would definitely hamper the game, especially in a game like this. It could really hurt the fan base. Story wise, we couldn't really get much from the beta. Probably going to be a bit more extensive when the game comes out. I'm hoping it's not like Destiny where they cut pieces out and then sell them back to you in DLC. But I feel as if right now, I'm pretty sure the story will be the least of our worries. I'm more worried about the Dark Zone. So that leads me to my overall recommendation on it. I personally think if you like the beta and you enjoyed it, definitely go buy it. It's a good buy. If you're on the fence, I suggest waiting a bit just in case to see what else they have to offer, because right now it's not that extensive. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to throw up a thumbs up on the video, subscribe, and give us your feedback. If you liked the way the video was done, let me know. If you didn't, let me know and why. And I promise you guys, next time will be a lot better. Thank you for watching. Peace out, YouTube.